Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Sustaining Sustainability. I am your host, CB Bhattacharya, and today it is my great pleasure to welcome Carlo Vassallo, who is the CEO of Ferrero Germany, based in Frankfurt, Germany. As you all know, Ferrero makes chocolates, and they make Ferrero Rocher, Nutella, Kinder, Butterfinger, and many, many other brands that we have experienced and loved over the years. And being a fast-moving consumer goods company, with the COVID crisis, there are many, many issues to discuss with regards to the supply chain, as well as on the retail and consumer front. So, Carlo, welcome to the program.
Thank you, CB. Thanks for the invitation. And really, thanks again that I can be part of your global sustainability podcast.
So, Carlo, we are talking to people from around the world. Can you give us a sense of what the situation is like right now in Germany as a result of the global pandemic?
Yes, the global pandemic obviously is greatly impacting the entire world, as we all know. Germany reacted quite well throughout the period, and the measures taken worked well, I would say. The infection numbers, and in particular the number of deaths, which of course has been even one is too many, are not so big, are smaller and lower than in other countries. Even more, being me Italian, you know, my country was really the most impacting one, and that's why here the situation is really better. Nevertheless, there has been a huge impact, of course, on the economy, and the general government has helped with large funds to avoid numerous bankruptcies, surging unemployment rate, and other crises. Tourism and hospitality, speaking about airlines, hotel, and all the tourism industry, and the automotive industry have suffered massively. Just an example, it's news from today. Lufthansa, as you all know, is asking for government support, but the last news is that despite this, they have to terminate around about 12,000 jobs, 12,000 only in Germany, and they expect to have first positive sign in 2023. So this is an example that it's clear describing how the situation it is. The government recently, on June 3rd, so last week, they decided to support the German economy with 130 billion euros, what they call the Konjunkturpaket. And this is aimed basically to protect the working places, getting the economy going again. Just mentioning a couple of examples, the reduction of the standard VAT. The VAT will decrease from 19 to 16, and in our sector, the food, from 7 to 5, and this is from the 1st of July till end of December. Another, it's children's bonus for family. Parents will receive 300 euro per child. The single parent will receive double tax allowances. They strengthen the municipalities and the city, so the federation now will increase its funding of accommodation costs for people in need, and balance losses in business taxes, and improve the public transport system and the health service. Another measure important is the offsetting of the electricity cost. And then, and this is a vision that the government had, they prepare a future package of 50 billion euro that it will go mainly in the areas for the future development, such as the hydrogen economy, the quantum technology, the artificial intelligence. So the government, they put really in place a huge plan. I personally believe that this is really helping a lot. And what was important is that the reaction was really very, very fast. Just to mention, it's clear the German economy anyway shows already the first sign of recovery. They restarted the mood, especially this, it's increasing, the mood is getting better. You see the consumers as well moving. People are slowly returning to work. The automobile industry restarts its production. So I would say that all in all, the signal are in this moment getting better.
Now, thinking about global supply chains and consumer demand, could you elaborate on what sets these products apart from, slower moving products like dishwashers and refrigerators and so on? These are chocolates are what we would call FMCGs, or fast moving consumer goods. So have you seen consumer demand for these products change as a result of the pandemic?
Yeah, there is of course some changes that we experienced. We as a company, Ferrero, we offer beloved brands. Most of them are well known for decades. So our main focus is always that we should provide the consumer with an excellent taste experience. We are always trying to achieve the best quality, working especially with high standard in raw material, unique recipes. And as you know, and as it is known, we create as well with some of our products our own categories. I just mentioned one, Nutella, in fact, is creating the spread cream categories, or Kinder Surprise for the eggs and so on. So in Germany, but basically in all Europe, and not only, the brand awareness of our product is extremely high. Being here in this country, the established market leader by far, this gives us a reason to look to continuously improve our products and ourselves. We offer, and here we go to one part of your question, offering since ever the product in single pack and rapid portion size. This is helping a lot. Why we did this, and this, as I said, it was from the very beginning when Michele Ferrero create this company. The reason of having single packet is that they fit into a balanced nutrition, they are safe and hygienic, and thus might be rightly called what is said consumer packaged goods. In the COVID time, as I mentioned, the people have been obliged to stay at home. But they want to feel well. They wanted something looking after themselves, to be a bit pampered. Many of them have started to cook, as we know, and with this, they often want to indulge themselves. So what happened? That we have two clear signals. The first is that they preferred brands, well-known brands that they know, brands that connect them with their familiarity, the childhood, the joy and well-being. The other signal that we have experienced is that the number of visits, the frequency that the consumer have in going into the supermarket, into the store, has decreased. This had a significant negative effect on the so-called impulse product. For instance, candies, gums. This is clear because they go to the brand, they don't look to the impulse, they want to spend less time in the supermarket. But on the other hand, there was, and there still is, a positive impact on the more indulgent products. For example, bars, snacks, spread cream. So those are two clear signals that we experienced and that we had in these 3 months of COVID time.
Right. It's very interesting. And then how did you adapt your operations then to fit with the changing nature of retail, that people are not going so much into supermarkets? Did you adapt any of your operations to cater to this new way of purchasing?
Good question. So the retail store are still the most relevant point of sales for consumers. This is clear. The people in those months, they went less to the supermarket, but of course they went to. So I believe that most of the consumer will come back in a way to their shopping behavior. They come back because the shopping experience, the pleasure we all as a consumer have to choose a box of praline, chocolate, or to choose a good Italian wine, let's say, this experience you can only get in front of a real shelf. It's clear, and as I said, in a way, this will be back. Having said that, I am fully aware that this may also translate into greater online shopping, as we have already seen. But independently from the COVID-19, we, as a Ferrero, are working on numerous different strategies that are aimed to enrich the classic retail shopping activity, like online, our own store, specific offer, packages, a portfolio dedicated to that, advertising, individual addressing, and so on and so forth. Why? This is clear because we have to follow the tendency of the consumer, and on the other hand, we want and we will be the protagonists and leaders as well in this new challenging environment, because this is a challenging environment, clearly.
So this commitment that you have, for example, to plastics-free packaging by 2025 and other partnerships to drive the circular economy development, do you see any of these aims kind of changing as a result of the global crisis?
What we have seen, we recognize as well that the people during the pandemic have been more focused on hygienic packaging, which is free from contact of other people. For example, it was clear the fact that if they are offering products even to the family member, they didn't do it from a bowl, from open products. So the point of hygienic, it is crucial. That's why, therefore, it might be beneficial to offer single wrapper product portion, as I mentioned before, in fully hygienic packaging with its resistance against any contamination. It could be, and what we see, especially in the last weeks, is that the society currently, the focus is not as high as it was on plastic, despite this is still a very, very important topic. But having said that, however, we are strictly following our packaging commitment to 100% reusable, recyclable, and compostable by 2025, and to foster a circular economy. This is a crucial point when you work in FMCG. We did a lot of changes. Sometimes, and this is what we try really to be more and more even open and explain to the people, sometimes this change might not be very obvious. I can mention one as a concrete example. When we change a simple plastic packaging against polypropylene version, this is not really clearly seen, understood by the consumer, but this is crucial because it makes a huge difference in the impact. Or another, when we produce the same package with 40% less material, usually not recognized immediately by the consumer, but the result is a big step. As less packaging means less weight, less transport, less production, less CO2. So overall, this commitment, packaging is still has to deliver its key future. It needs to be safe, protect the product during transport and storage for the trade, for the consumers. It has to deliver all the relevant key information. So this is something that we watch carefully, but we don't change our medium long-term commitment sustainability.
What advice would you give to other business leaders who are trying to work through this crisis, especially those who might work with consumer products or rely on distribution through retail environments? Any do's and don'ts that you can share with our audience?
In this period, of course, I tell you my experience and what I think that we have to do. We an experience clearly for everyone. It is working remotely over the recent month. We have learned that this work in our organization, it was really quite well. And I believe that the way we will work will be reshaped and changed in the near future. This is something in what I strongly believe, and it will be. What I think, and I really did, it's that it's essential to anticipate at an early stage the possible scenarios. We did not underestimate the crisis. We monitor it closely, follow it with our own behavior, the recommendation, the rules of the respective authorities. This is very important. But it's important that in such deep and sudden crisis, I think a leader should focus on the key elements and priorities. You cannot run after everything. Key elements, priorities, to be efficient, agile, and react quickly. React quickly. For instance, I engaged myself with the management team really from the very beginning. It was the first week of March in doing so. And we succeed to produce and deliver all our unique products that the clients and consumer wanted. And this is a great result. But really, we were focused. Second point that it's essential, and I found the communication, the motivation, the support that the leader provides to all the employees is crucial in such it's always important, even more in such a period. I personally showed them proximity and closeness. I was reinforcing and I'm still underlining the values. Values is really the lighthouse, the values that are instilled in our company DNA by trying to be an example, of course, and a role model. So this is really an important point. A leader should give a direction, should give a path that we have to follow consistently that strengthen us and prepare the organization for the post-crisis time. So we have to work in three directions. We have to work on the short time, we have to work on the medium, but we have to have as well the long-term vision and goal. So these are the way in which, touching all the business component, we are recreating the models with the flexibility and with the pragmatism that we need.
And now then finally, what about a call to action for our other listeners, the consumers out there? How would you recommend that consumers use their purchasing power or whatever they can do in their sphere of influence to contribute to rebuilding a more sustainable world after the pandemic?
I just mentioned quickly that as expected, the online delivery services increasing during the COVID time. This may have a big impact on regional and local dealers, not only in supermarket. So this will change. That's why today we see that the communities are afraid that the disappearance of the local shop, their shop in their villages, in their small area will continue further. They are afraid that it will result in an isolation of urban centers. So the consumers already use their purchasing power to contribute to sustainability. And we have to have this. And as I have explained, sustainability objectives have not changed due to the coronavirus. So it is just that the current consumer focus is not direct as much as on sustainability as it was before. We have to redirect this. But for us, companies, for us, organizations, the duty we have to have. Our duty, our commitment is to continue to follow and work towards these sustainability goals, to help the consumer to keep these and to continue in this path, because otherwise our world will have even more troubles. So this is what I really believe, and the call to action that we have to do as an organization, as a companies, for the next years and decade to come.
Carlo Vassallo, it was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you.
Thank you, CB. It's a pleasure for me, and it was a great conversation. All of you, stay healthy. That's the most important thing in this moment, please.
This is your host, CB Bhattacharya, signing off. Please join me next week for another edition of Sustaining Sustainability.
This podcast is made possible by the help of my colleagues, Leslie Marshall, who's the Associate Director of the Center for Sustainable Business, and Alyssa Martinec, who is the Sustainability Coordinator of the Center for Sustainable Business. I'm your host, CB Bhattacharya, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye-bye.